welcome everybody. Hello again to the dungeon. And today what we're gonna do, this is Lampworking 101.30. This is like 30 of these on top of all the other stuff. It's pretty amazing. Just to let you guys know, I feel like I'm so happy that you guys are such a supportive group, helping me find colors and different kinds of tips and asking questions that I can answer, and it's just makes me feel so good. I've shown you the flowers before, but they were all surface flowers, and they're really pretty to do on the surface because it gives you a lot of texture. Today we're going to smooth things out, and we are going to bring those flowers down deeper into the glass. Basically what we're doing is encasing flowers in clear. I hope you guys enjoy this, and if you are not sure about how to encase different items in the glass, this is a good one to start out with, and off we go. We'll see you next time in the dungeon, and you guys take care. You're all the best. Thanks again for watching. Bye. All right, well, we are going to start out by just building up the length that we're going to need for this bead. So we always start out with one footprint after another footprint. Always make sure that you're heating the bead release so every one of these can stick to the rod. Once I get my length, as always, I like to roll it out. Make a nice long even shape, and then right here I'm just gently going to bevel the edges, and then that's it. I want to finish these edges off so I don't have to worry about them again. And now what I'm going to do is just not quite touch those edges, but I'm going to fill the center part with another layer of the black glass, and this will help when I go to heat it up, not to overheat the edges. Just kind of stay within the center a little bit. And now what I need to do is make my bicone. When you make the bicone, you can always check out my 7 simple beads on the bicone. It's actually really easy to make. But once I have this bicone made, I do want to smooth out the top to make it a little rounder, and this will be the base of my bead. All right, here's the fun part. I have a stringer that's a couple different shades of opaque and transparent green, and this will become the background for all these flowers. I'm not necessarily going to make leaves and stuff like that because I'm not so great at it, but I think that this floating background will look really good behind all of the flowers. So we're going to heat the whole thing up, always being careful not to overheat the edges. You want a nice even heat, because what we're going to do next is we are going to encase this first part in clear. This is actually going to be a pretty big bead, you guys. If you need to work a little smaller, please do. Don't put on that extra black. Just start from a smaller, longer piece of black or a longer bead. But once I have this encased all the way, I will gently heat the edges so the clear can like pull into the edges. And I do that just by heating the edges to pull that clear over. Now let's go ahead and start our first layer of flowers. And this is the bubblegum pink rod. And I tend to put most of my flowers on the same. I'll start with the top, go to the right, and then go to the left. It just makes it easier for me to see where I'm actually placing all these dots in little clumps of 3s. Of course, we have to go ahead and heat each one individually and then very gently just flatten it out with your knife. Try not to get the, like right here, it's touching. So I can go ahead and just use my little pick. So all those leaves aren't touching into a big like wad. You kind of want to try to keep them as separate as possible. Now, once we have this first layer of flowers finished and pressed down, I'm going to add just some little background. I don't have enough room to do 3 little dots, so I'm just going to do 1 dot here and there and flatten each one of those down. This is I think a turquoise blue. Flatten each one of those down, and then we're going to go ahead and proceed to the secondary petals of the flower, right on top of the bubblegum pink. And I'm using a transparent stringer, so it'll give a nice kind of fuzziness into the pink. It'll blend real nice, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And of course, you see that every time I add these dots, I do kind of heat the whole bead up, and then I add a few more. And at this point, what I want to do is I want to heat them all and gently, again, flatten them down. At this point, it doesn't quite matter if they're touching or not, but you really want to see them climbing up and getting larger on the under petal. Then a good heat, good heat. You don't have to smooth it all out just yet. Now we're going to add little tiny yellow dots where we added those little purple dots. And these are so tiny that when you go to heat them up, they heat up so fast that you can almost watch it. It's like you can watch it happen, and you don't necessarily, because they're so small, you don't necessarily have to flatten them out. They will spread out perfectly if they're not touching each other. And now what we need to do is heat every flower and go ahead and do our plunge with the tungsten pick, not only in each flower, but also I want to hit every one of those little blue dots as well. So it looks like it's kind of funneling down into the bead. Okay, this is pretty cool. So what I'm doing here is I'm just getting as much glass as I can to cover as much of the bead as possible. Not the whole bead, but not the bead, but the flower. I can cover the little blue flowers fine, but these larger flowers, you can put clear on the whole thing, but I like to put these large clear dots on them so when it does melt, what happens is the edge of the leaves that the clear did not touch will almost appear to fold in slightly. It's a really cool look. And then just smoothing it out here. I'm ready for smoothing. And when you're ready for smoothing, that means you're ready for more clear. Remember, every time you add clear, your bead is going to get bigger and bigger. And once I have all this clear added, I will add a little wrap of clear on the edges so I can pull that clear down to the ends of the bead without messing up my pattern. And then it's just a matter of heating. I do use my knife to kind of gently roll the edge around itself, especially to get that clear a little bit more down to the edge. And then it's a full reheat. I'm so happy with the way this bead turned out, you guys. It's just made my day. Lots of heat, lots of even heat. Let it cool down, and we are done with this beautiful encased flower bead. Thanks for watching, you guys. See you next time.